Okay. Those of you on Twitch, I am back, as I promised. Those of you on YouTube, welcome. This is I, Chris136, playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the Cowabunga collection. It's a little loud for me, so I'm gonna try to... I guess that's not an option. I guess sound has nothing to do with it. That's... what? How's that not an option? Alright, whatever. Alright, so I play them in order. I believe this is considered the first game. Sorry, where was I? There's a lot of games in here. What's the difference between Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, and this one? Oh, it's just different. This one's a Tournament Fighters. Okay, I see. Also, P.S. Oh, no, I see it now. Okay, so if I went right, I'd do... Okay, I get it now. I was just, like, looking at, like, the UI, if you will. So this is the first one, obviously, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in general. I have no idea how good these games are going to be, but we're going to see. Okay. I usually play Donatello, typically. I'll stick with it. I'll try to play Donatello in every game it lets me. I know what it said all there. That was new. We gotta watch the animation, of course. That, okay.
Cowabunga! Cowabunga! Fire! Hang on, April.
The voice acting. What is the sound effect? Oops. Alright. We're gonna rate these games as we go, by the way. I know Turtles in Time, so when we get there, I'm gonna have nothing but positive feelings. Hey. Be nice to me. You can back up? It's one of those games? Okay. I'm trying not to use that, by the way. Seems like there's only one attack button that I've seen so far. That sound effect, though. I need some health, to be honest with you. Let's go, April. Foot soldiers are not helping me out here. If I saved you, April, we good? Alright, I thought he would go straight across. Oh my gosh. He can shoot up and diagonal? That's a stupid way to lose a life, by the way. That he can suddenly just shoot up and diagonal for no reason. I'm gonna tank it, honestly, at this point. They didn't give me any instructions on buttons or anything, so I'm sure I'm missing some sort of like greater mechanic. Shredder, no! What am I doing? I'm getting numbers. Is it my lives? I don't understand. I wanted to pause. Does that mean certain coins? I don't know if it matters. I really don't care. I don't want to stop playing anyway. I'm really just in here for the gameplay itself, so I suppose it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be ass anyway. Oops, sorry. Oh, you know what I could do? Can I take away my lives? They went far enough back? No. It's also limited, it seems, and it's, there we go. RB opens it. Okay. Okay, that wasn't very helpful. There we go. Yep, just jump, attack, rewind. Start is insert coin. I know that now. Okay. Well, oops. The game was intended to be played with coins, though, to be fair. They're arcade games. I'll go through them, don't worry, friends. I would have needed them anyway.
Who put the lights out?
It's kind of just a really archaic game. No other buttons at all. You can jump and attack in any combination thereof. So obviously, jump, attack for a dive kick if you're really high in the air. Or just like a regular... kick otherwise. I'm hoping the game isn't terribly long, because it's not a very interesting system. I know it was early in the, you know, the development of arcade games. The 80s. Right?
Pizza time.
It would be easier with multiple players too, to be fair. I don't know anybody who plays such games because a lot of people aren't a fan of the side-scrolling beat-em-ups. If they are, they don't want to pay for the entire collection anyway. He definitely should have been hit by that, but that's alright. I do like how the Foot Clan blows up for no reason. It's hard sometimes to stand up and turn around. The game isn't as smooth as you might imagine. Damn it. I'm trying to pause. I hate how the control for pause. And Furry wanted to know what I was doing, so of course I'm gonna answer him. Bitches. I hate how you I can't hit them before they throw it, by the way.
You are dead. Skill brain.
They ain't getting any prettier.
Watch your mouth, blind ball.
That's where I was going? Oh, look at that. Oh no, they're in the sewer too! That guy's a broom. Clean up the sewer. Appreciate that. Was waiting for me to come. Keep our sewers nice and clean. Oh, that's a hammer, actually. Well, maybe the other guy did have a broom, but these guys definitely have hammers. I didn't see him very well the first time, so I could have been wrong. He could have been wielding a hammer. Mousers, that's what they're called, right? Mousers. I vaguely remember my Ninja Turtle stuff.
Pizza time.
I think that's a lot of damage, that gate. Alright, that didn't feel fair. So literally, you're intended to go around the through the trap, and if you don't, they punish you. That's cool. Punish creativity by the player, right? They said, fuck that. Come on, Donatello. Get him. Krang? Can't tell who this is. I can't even hit him. Even when he's here. It's hard to hit this guy because the fucking flying issue. Sometimes you can get a hit without the flying, meaning, you know. Oh, okay.
Come and get him, Skill brain.
Okay. A spear? I died from a sign. Yeah, I mean, I can understand this game could be fun in theory back when in the 1980s, but definitely this is probably going to be the weak point of the entire series. Does it not feel like a fair trap? The damage done from that trap was incredible. Bye. Just as a note, the explosion didn't really help at all. What's up, CBS Kid X? I mean, it's just old, right? You can tell just because the lack of mechanics that exist. It's fine. Some old games are really good, but we, you know, judging them by our modern standards, are a little bit rough. Obviously, you don't have negative opinions of it, but like any negative opinion I have is obviously solely based on it's an old game, right? Like. Graphically, I have no problem. I actually appreciate graphics of these games. It's a little weak, but... Well, I'm sure there are. I don't really care much about the difficulty. I mean, number one, in this version, obviously, you can insert coins freely whenever you wish, and you have unlimited lives anyway. And even in the real, like, in the arcade, you just bring quarters, right? Like, I didn't even know that I was putting coins in at first, and I ended up putting, like, I don't even know, like, 15... to 18 lives. We'll even call it 20. We can even 20. That's 20 quarters. You know, it's $5, right? And you didn't need to buy the game because it existed in someone's shop. So if I actually beat the game on this number of lives, it would cost you $5 to play. Like, that's a pretty fair exchange, and that's with me being bad, right? Rather than someone who might be a little bit better at the game, a little smoother. That would obviously change things because then, you know, they'd pay less. And obviously it's multiplayer, right? And so one of the big shining points from any game is going to be its ability to be multiplayer, you know, especially back in the arcade days. Now I obviously can't judge that right now, but I'm assuming the game would basically be the same, but with the added camaraderie as well as more enemies. No, of course. I didn't mean to give myself a bunch of free lives. I had never run out. I would have run out, and I would have had to, you know, to get a couple lives, but I didn't intend to. They're holding fucking missiles? What the fuck? How regularly do you play this game? Okay, I might have gotten run over, but I did knock that guy off his bike. Oh, more guys with missiles. Nah. See a pizza ahead. I hate the robots. That's fair. I never really focused too much on the mastery of games. Well, it depends on the game, obviously. Usually directly multiplayer competitive games are where I spend my effort. If I'm gonna spend like a lot of time. But on the rare occasion there have been games I've obviously cared to do better at. Sekiro is a perfect example. I didn't have like a specific goal in mind, meaning I didn't want to beat it in X amount of lives, but I wanted to get better at the game actively. I wanted to improve, even though I had already beaten it. So like, I get it. I just usually don't play games long enough, unless they're, you know, multiplayer competitive games. If that makes sense. I never usually play a single-player game in order to master it. I play it for the story. Maybe the gameplay mechanics if we're talking about like a really good, you know, RPG or something, where the mechanics are like solid. But I never like looked like, oh, I want to do better. It's like, I mean, I played it, you know, I had no problem saving, reloading kind of thing. How do you feel about the rewind mechanic in this game in particular? thought I might be able to jump over. Or walk through, I mean. I just want to play the entire Cowabunga collection because I think it'll be a nice experience for me to like play the games and then rate them and how I feel about them. I've already previously played some of them in the past. Like I own Turtles in Time for my Super Nintendo still. So I played that repeatedly when I was younger. So like that game I already have feelings towards, but I'll play it again regardless. I understand what you mean. You would do a run practicing the rewind to practice different parts and do them better than you did the first time. And then separately do your runs of... Try not to do it with no continues. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm losing lives rapidly. I ain't making no records. It's not nice that you guys have laser guns and machine guns. Just saying. I'm just a turtle, you know? I don't know what I did deserve to be shot. I landed on them with what I thought was going to be a jump kick, and that did not work the way I intended. Let's get in.
Hang on, guys.
Why am I no longer in the car? What happened?
We gotta save Splinter.
I was excited for Turtles in Time because I find it to be an incredibly polished game since it came out in the 1990s instead of the 1980s. It had a long time for game creators to find the formula that fit. Hey, get off me. Which is great. I also played the newer Ninja Turtle game, Shredder's Revenge. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't love the leveling system, and the fact that it incentivized you to, I believe it's just hit, right? Just hit things. I've actually never played the one in the arcade back in the past. I'm figuring that the arcade is probably just a better game, because back in the day, it was actually true that arcade machines were more powerful than home consoles at the time, because they weren't restricted to having to play multiple things, depending on the arcade, at least in my memory. In modern day, that's not true, because a lot of arcade machines, like if you play Dance Dance Revolution at an arcade, it's literally a PS2 inside the container. It depends on a lot of stuff, but arcade machines often had less restrictions because they're only made to play one game. Home consoles didn't have that advantage. They had to be able to play lots of games, and so it wasn't, like, formulated for that. So I'm figuring the Turtles in Time on the arcade is probably just better. I'm guessing. It is a guess, though. Certainly not from experience. I'm not letting you get away. There we go. Got it.
Do not lose this touch.
Alright, I didn't mean to get blown up with it, but...
Cowabunga!
Right, that's what I'm saying, like... It's just the game, the one they played. I don't make any presumptions because oftentimes a lot of arcade versions of older side-scrolling beat-em-ups were better on the arcade. I know that is just the truth of a lot of the games.
Keep the tide. The turtle.
Who is this guy? I've never been like a Ninja Turtles lore person, but I don't recognize this person. I obviously don't need to recognize them. But he's kicking my ass.
Crush the turtle.
I was gonna tank him. I feel like I'm getting more hit. Okay, now I'm not. I was getting more hits in.
Crush the turtle.
He's so close to dead. Well, at least he looks it.
The turtle.
Okay, apparently he's not as close as I thought. How much health does this guy have? He's way tankier than the other bosses. Thank you.
Thank you, my turtle.
You're welcome.
There it is.
Let's go in and get Shredder. The Technodrome. Why is this thing called we gotta find the Technodrome? I'm in the Technodrome. Right now. As we speak. Oh gosh, there's another one. Let me go.
Will not be successful.
How many stages does this actually have, by the way? Just curious if you know the answer off the top of your head, which I figure you must if you're mastering the game. They tricked me. Damn you. Well, I can destroy them, though. Hey, it turned on really fast. Played me for a fool. There we go. A lift. Alright, hold on. I'm just gonna answer. I always forget that that's on the pause button. Sorry. Got it. Answer that. Just making sure I had the message read. Should probably have that pizza, actually. I could have taken another hit, but I probably would have just died anyway. At least before I went down, I got a bunch of them. Who's this guy? You knew I was gonna ask. Some rock man.
Crush the turtle. Crush the turtle. Crush the turtle.
He sounds just like Commander Granitor.
Crush the turtle.
You can tell I'm not particularly into turtle lore. I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was younger. Like, much younger. Like, I don't know if you know how old I am, obviously, but I'm 29. So, I watched them when I was real little. And even then, I was, like, too young probably to absorb a lot, because my brother was the one who was really watching them in my memory. So I was answering a text. My girlfriend went out of state. She's asking how everything is, I guess. I want to make sure I respond because I don't want her to think that everything is falling apart without her here, because that's not good. Ugh, okay. Back to the game.
Invincible.
Krang! Laser beams. I kicked in the head. That was rude. This strat seems to work. It definitely wouldn't have worked on Bebop and Rocksteady because they were too fast, but he is slow. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. Would have been much harder to make work. Alright. You can just shoot lasers whenever you feel like it, man. I stopped my working strategy because I thought I could rush him. It's not true, though. A lot of bosses have a misleading amount of health when they start flashing.
I'm invincible.
Whatever, dude. I didn't know Shredder was just gonna come now. Is this the final battle? It doesn't feel like a final battle, but I don't know. What the fuck is that? Since when does Shredder know magic? Oh. Is this gonna work? Your duplicate's gone, Shredder. Alright, now he's not playing around anymore. So is he always the one that casts spells? I feel like he would be. Nope, they both cast spells. I still think this one's Shredder, though, because of the amount of damage he's taken. How much health does this guy have, by the way? Not that it matters. I mean, this is going to be an exercise of futility for me, because it's just going to be me fighting for a really long time, followed by, you know, me using a bunch of continues, embarrassingly wasting all of, like, so many coins that would have been in real life. Then moving on to the next turtle game. Now, I probably won't get to every game tonight, but I definitely have time for more. I have at least another hour, probably. This game is pretty quick. It's been 35 minutes. Shredder, I'm gonna need you to take more damage, my friends. I never know which way, if I'm hitting the right one either. You both behave basically the same up until that helmet comes off. No, I know, but I can never tell the difference between, because the one that takes his helmet off always gets killed just because he, like, look, they're inside each other. So I don't know. Oh, they both have their helmet off. Okay. I was gonna explain that they keep going together, the fake one goes away, and then they you know, I don't know which one's real because I don't know if there's a set place. He's always the back one, always the front one, whatever. But, hey. That is turtle power. Interesting ending, but alright. I'm not gonna watch the credits. I don't find that would be particularly helpful. Oh, it wants me to. Look at that. I just outdid the other things. Alright, so. We will go. Let's save. I can save in. It doesn't matter. I don't need to save, right? I don't think it matters. Like, I'll save anyway, because it doesn't really matter. Alright, so I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Next is Turtles in Time, which is interesting because there's no, aren't there Ninja Turtles games in between that? That'd be the arcade. That's the one there. That's just a tournament fighter. I'll have to look at Hyperstone Heist. And are they in order? I guess I'll just play them in order regardless of like whatever it shows me. I'm not gonna play both the arcade and the Super Nintendo one. I'm gonna play the arcade one because I've never played it before, so that's the most. I would like to think that's the most honest experience for me. Winners don't use drugs. Darn tootin', William S. Sessions. No, they just jumped at me. I don't know if this is copyrighted, but YouTube, you want to demonetize? That's okay. I'm not monetized anyway. Twitch, part of the game. They didn't give me an option in the options menu to turn it off, so that's just too bad. You can mute that part. I don't care much for my VODs anyway after they've happened. Okay.
Let's get shell. Let's get
Oops,
shell.
I didn't mean to do another two. My bad. What's up, Rachel O'Neill? There's like no voice acting. Almost no voice acting in the Super Nintendo version, if I remember correctly. There's like some laughing and stuff, but all right. Let's just check to see if there's any controls I need to know. I know how to throw already. Yeah, okay, same stuff. What do you think? Should I do it on wide? No, it looks awful. I'm not doing that. I'll do original. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's do strategy guide. I'm not gonna read that, but I do. Unlike the console version, the arcade game's fight at the end of the Super Surfing is just a time bonus game. You don't actually need to wipe out any of the pizza monsters. Keep going. Give peace a chance. The arcade game has turquoise foot shoulders who wield bows and arrows. Their shots can come from off-screen and leave behind dangerous fire, so be sure to watch your six. That's kind of cool. There were bow people, but there weren't flaming bow people in the Super Nintendo. Sick.
Pizza time.
I could have waited, but I don't want to risk losing a continue for no reason. Oh, it actually works. Haha! And a dive kick that works well too. Oh no.
Prepare to die.
Nah, nothing's gonna happen to me, dude. Okay, well, if I get bounced into it, I might get hurt.
Pizza time.
Baxter!
The turtle.
I get the glove and the gun. I guess since it's made for 4 players, there might be different stats on enemies too. Because I remember Baxter not having this much health in Super Nintendo. Like 110% did not have this much health. Which is fine, I'm not complaining, but... Ow. He's basically done. And he doesn't die like that either, I don't think. In Super Nintendo, but I could be wrong about that. I feel like he falls off. Ah, the way they say the name of stuff. Oh, I missed that too.
Cool off, sucker.
Yeah, so far the arcade is just better. To be honest with you. I fought valiantly. I think, anyway. Never seen that on you before.
Pizza power! Cool off, sucker! Pizza time!
I'm going to mangle you green slime balls.
Wait, he's not as easy as just to hit him and run away. I'll tell you that.
Let's kick shell.
His animations look much better in the arcade game too. The way he punches and moves. This is basically exactly oops.
This cave is creepy.
He's getting close. That's okay. For sure. And again, it's a limitation at the time. Super Nintendo wasn't a weak console by any means, but compared to some of the arcade stuff, you know what I mean, it's not always the same. We didn't even see him blow up really well because he was like off screen.
Let's kick shell.
Sewer surfing.
This is a mini game, so said the guide. Ow. When I get to the pizza monsters. Not this part, obviously.
My toes, my toes.
I remember that.
Pizza time.
Nice. Lucky heal, huh?
Toes, my toes.
Hey, you leave me alone.
My toes, my toes.
Let's kick shell.
Definitely less enemies than Super Nintendo. 100%.
Pizza time.
They're gonna kill me. They didn't.
My patience is wearing thin. I'm banishing you to a time warp from which you will never return.
That's how I get into the time warp? That's way different.
Turtle Saurus.
So, CVS Kid, do you know, like, did you play both? I'm assuming that you did since you have the Cowabunga collection. So, like, I'm going to pause for a second just for the people who might not know since I'm not going to play the other version. So, correct me if I'm wrong, CVS Kid, because you've played more recently than me. In the Super Nintendo port of Turtles in Time, you don't go anywhere back in time until you get to the Technodrome. You go in the Technodrome, you fight Shredder in like a robot where you have to throw shit at the screen, like forward at him, and then, then in the process of fighting him, it opens a portal to the past, which Shredder jumps into, and you jump in after him, and then you end up in a lot of different places, and you fight, you know, Bebop and Rocksteady and the rest of them in other levels, like in other zones. Themed like, you know, it's cowboys in the West, it's whatever, it's time travel. It's so weird that Shredder just arbitrarily uses a device on us in this one. Like, I'm not wrong, CVS Kid, right? That's how it happens in the Super Nintendo port. You go into the Technodrome. Yeah, that's so weird. Alright. Alright, that I feel like that was better because it made more sense. Shredder had a portal to the past that he was going to use. For whatever reasons, right? It makes less sense that he just has the ability to just banish us, just from far range, not even being there. So I'm a little bit skeptical on that. That's the first thing I found that I probably like better. I also feel like this level wasn't in the original. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I do remember these fuckers, though. The rock guys. They feel like they belong here more, which is cool. Because they definitely didn't feel like they belonged anywhere else. Yeah, I'm not, like, complaining. I'm not blaming them for the decision originally. It definitely feels better with that part.
Pizza power.
Red King Shell.
It's minor. You know, gameplay over that, right? I care a lot more about the frames being nice and smooth. So I'm not, like, too upset about it, you know? They're definitely... There's positives and negatives of both. I'm glad I'm playing this one, because I still, even after all this time, remember some of those differences. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't end up in the dinosaur level at all. If I'm correct. I could be wrong, but I don't remember a dinosaur level in the original.
Pizza time.
Oops.
Man, I just
Yeah, don't remember Cement Man.
Man, I just had a shower.
Red King Shell.
Man, I just had a shower.
Oh, yeah. Slash was here. You're right. I knew this looked familiar. But did you still go through a dinosaur level to get to Slash, or was it different? I feel like it was a little different. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think there were dinosaurs and stuff.
Man,
But maybe it was like a Stone Age level leading to Slash. Yeah. Slash was cool. So Batman feels... eh.
Red King Shell.
I definitely think Cement Man's lame. I'm glad they replaced him.
Cowabunga.
Oh, I love this level.
skull and crossbones.
But that's not the boss that's normally here, right? Normally it's... is it Bebop? Pirate Bebop is normally the boss here in Super Nintendo port.
Forgot the sun cream. Go. 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 Go.
It's both of them? Maybe it is. I think you're right, yeah. I didn't believe you either way. And you fight this guy on the train? Is that right? The cowboy level with the train?
Duh, my nose. Go. Go. Pizza power. Yeah.
I want to hit the damn thing. Was that always the case? I don't know, it's a lot of changes. It's very weird.
Red King Shell.
Okay.
Forgot the sun cream. Pizza time.
You fought these guys in the Technodrome at some part of it. The elevator? And didn't they tag team, like one in at a time? He's cute.
Cowabunga.
I actually didn't do too bad against that boss fight. I did terrible on the level, but boss fight?
Bury my shell.
You're right, it was Leatherhead. Yep. Not that I didn't believe you, but like now it's coming back. I'm not doing so well to start this level.
Ooh, I feel seasick.
Seasick? What fucking training?
Ooh, I feel seasick.
Leg kick shell.
Have you tried to beat this with as few lives as possible too? So here's a question for your CVS kid also. Ask lots of questions since you're here. What kinds of games do you typically play? Like, are you a side-scrolling beat-em-up fan? Do your tastes vary greatly? Like, I'm just curious.
Ooh, I feel seasick.
Leg kick shell.
Didn't hit anybody, but I tried. Fighting games, like which ones? There's obviously a lot.
Ooh, I feel seasick.
It's okay if you also say a lot of them. That's a fair answer. Like, if you're talking about like 2.5D fighters or whatever, like Soul Calibur, or like 2D fighters like Mortal Kombat, or Tekken, or Marvel vs. Capcom.
Ooh, I feel seasick.
You know, there's a lot of games that could fit those paradigms that you might be into.
Oh, goody.
Pizza time.
Leg kick shell.
I'm a big Smash fan myself, but I haven't played in a long time. I played Soul Calibur when I was a lot younger, specifically a lot of Soul Calibur 2 and 3. I own Soul Calibur, was it 5 now? The most recent Soul Calibur. Not that it's that recent, but... Oh, Street Fighter 2 I played a lot of. I actually played Street Fighter 2, a lot of the varied Street Fighter 2s, and I played a lot of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Is that what it is? Street Fighter 3 Third Strike or First Strike? I think it's Third Strike.
Cowabunga.
I'm not very great at Soul, at any of them actually, but I say I'm okay at Smash, but I'm not really that great at most of the other ones, but
Neon Knight Riders.
I'm like decent at... You can fix that. I'm about to change your life. In case you don't know. You might know, but I'm not gonna assume you don't know. So there's a setting for the the Switch that can eliminate online lag almost entirely. Granted, it kind of relies on both players to do it to get the best result, meaning both players need to switch this thing on their Switch. But either person doing it decreases lag. Both people doing it increases lag dramatically. I can tell you if you like, and I promise you can look it up. It is a thing. It's like a known thing. Just not well known enough, obviously, if you weren't familiar with it. But you can fix it. Like me and my friend Rocket, who's a regular on the broadcast. Hold on. I'm not going to show you anything, but I'm gonna look up the exact setting because I can literally tell you. I don't know if your Switch is around, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just gonna tell you what the setting is called. I have it bookmarked on my phone because I never wanted to forget. Okay. The particular setting, I'm actually just type it. I'm gonna say as I type it. It is the MTU. Oops, my phone went crazy. It's inside your... Why is this... I'm trying to go to a page that I have... Oh, I see it now. They changed my thingy. It doesn't much matter, though. On the Switch, the MTU setting... I don't know the exact, like, how to get there, so you should explore. I believe, if I'm remembering off the top of my head, the Switch's default is 1400, and you should change that to 1500. If you look up online the MTU on all modern day consoles, they are 1500. I don't know why the Switch is predisposed to being 1400. They just decided that was fine, and it actually makes a substantial difference. Feel free to research it on your own. I'm not responsible for what you do or do not do with your Switch. But I will tell you, I already knew that existed prior from some other people who had told me the same thing. Me and Rocket were trying to play prior to trying it, and the game was mad laggy, almost to the point of being unplayable. Yeah. And you know, obviously I don't want to distract from your watching my broadcast, but truth be told, I do like to help people. Even if it meant you weren't actively watching my broadcast, I would rather help you do something that would increase your quality of life, especially when it comes to gaming. But yeah, me and Rocket tried it, and it was unplayable. The lag was terrible. So I did it on my own, and then it was better. It was doable. It just wasn't amazing. It was like, still like a little laggy. It wasn't like as fun. So I had Rocket do it too, and of course he trusted me, right? Rightfully so. He did it, and then suddenly it was like night and day. Like, we could just play the game like normal. Like, of course, any online game can have a little lag here or there, but, like, it was basically gone. Now, granted, I can't promise results. Obviously, the person you're playing with, based on their region, based on whatever, and whether or not they have the setting enabled, you know, your results are going to vary. So I'm not going to promise you results, but it won't hurt anything. I've had my Switch like that ever since I changed it. It's been years. It is not... It's not like a harmful thing to your Switch. Hey, thanks for the follow. Much love.
Let it shell.
I hope it really does change your entire online, like, experience in the Switch. Suddenly you'll be playing competitive Smash. I will say, on the note of any fighting game, I did practice a lot of Soul Cal for a while, and I was doing quite well in Soul Cal 3. I didn't play, like, in any tournaments or anything, so, like, not to that level. But, I was playing with some people that I knew at school. We had a game room at the school when they had SoCal 3 hooked up. And I was trashing everybody as Taki. I did not lose. One person pushed me really hard, but yeah, I loved SoCal 3. Character Creator was really good too. The system. I actually like 5. I don't think it's a bad game. If it is 5, I believe that's the number. It's fine. It's just, you know, I never got as into it at that point in the series. So, like, I had it. I liked the story. I was having fun with the story, but I just didn't feel obligated to keep playing. I don't play as many 2D fighters besides Smash anyway. Alright, you're gonna have to stop kicking me at some point, Krang. I'm just gonna be honest, like... There we go. I will not.
Cowabunga!
Starbase, where no turtle has gone before.
It's Krang again, right? Oh, that's cool.
I'm trapped! I'm trapped! I'm trapped!
Let's kick shell!
A lot of games, my problem, and why I don't play some of them as much as I would like to, is because my friend group, like my IRL friends, you know, who some of them I actually still play with games today online. So who I was playing with before this, if you had been watching prior, which I don't think you were, but I was playing Overwatch before this, Overwatch 2. I have an IRL friend in Furry. I've known him since I was, you know, much younger. I wouldn't say crazy young, but like much younger. We've always been in a friend group that's not super competitive. They like to be a little competitive for sure, like we do care who wins and loses, but nobody is really big on like the practicing a game and mastering a game when it comes to a competitive game. So I don't play with a lot of those people anymore anyway, because I don't live that close to them. A lot of people moved, and I moved as, you know, as well. I moved out of state, one state over, but still, that's far enough that, like, it's very difficult. And a lot of people lost touch. But back in the day, it was hard to play those games, because if I got too good at any of the games because I practiced more, because I cared to practice more, then nobody else wants to really play because they're just going to lose. And I'm not saying that's everybody's opinion. I'm not, like, saying universally everybody. Like, I still play games with in Furry, for example. You know, to some degree. But I had a lot of problems with, like, nobody would play SoCal with me because they weren't willing to put the time in, so I was just better. So it's already a foregone conclusion who's going to win. And then that came the same thing with, like, playing Smash. Back with Smash, if you ever played the mod Project M, none of my friends could really play very effectively against me in a 1v1, so they refused to do 1v1s, and so they wanted to do free-for-alls. Yeah, I always want to be better. I want competition. I thrive in competition. I like competitive games. I'm never going to be professional. I'm not saying that. But I want to still strive to be better. Now, if with work, I was still so much unbelievably worse no matter what I did, okay, that would upset me too. And I might stop playing in theory, and that'd be fine. But a lot of people don't actually put the effort in. And again, I'm not accusing anybody in particular, my friends. So if any of my friends are watching, I don't mean every friend. I mean there are friends who do that. That's all I mean.
Pizza time.
But yeah, a lot of them didn't want to try in the first place. Yeah, you know, it's hard if you do stink, right? And I'm not saying any of my friends do, but, like, I get it, right? If you really did try and you were bad, like, that's hard to swallow in theory. You might not want to play that game anymore. But a lot of my friends didn't want to try in the first place. They wanted to play casually. And I understand that, but that's just not how I wanted to play. I wanted to play at least somewhat competitive. Even if it's casual-ish. And so that's always been my struggle. So some games have just never been a really big hit for me. Because, you know, they nobody would play. So like I actually ran out of people to play Smash with for a while, because it wasn't a competition. So like my girlfriend didn't really like to play with me at the time, because even if we were in a big free-for-all lobby, everybody did the same thing. I would stand on the side, we'd have like lives, like, because free-for-alls are different, they're not as competitive anyway, because people can gang up on each other. So you would assume that if I'm the best, everybody would gang up on me. But I would incentivize them not to do it by whoever went for me first, I would ruthlessly kill until they were out of lives. Because if they solo me and everyone else is distracted, they'll lose the 1v1 and they'll be out of the game before everybody else. And so then nobody would go near me, and then I would just wait until whoever's left was there, and I'd usually have a stock advantage, and I just win because I was better at the 1v1 than them, and I had a stock advantage.
Anyone got a pin?
So like it became a problem, and they could have changed their ways. And I even told them, I'm like, look, everybody could just come after me. I'd be fine with that. But they'd all complain. They'd be like, no, I don't want to be the first person to lose. I'm like, well, okay, that's your choice, right? Like, you're making a choice that's ending with you always losing. We could just play 1v1s or teams, and that problem would be gone. But they didn't want to play teams. They're like, I don't like teams.
I'm trapped.
Draconius asks question. Who's my main in Smash? I'm assuming that's what you mean, Draconius. I haven't played in a little while, but at the time, it was Lucina.
Anyone got a pin?
I played Lucina at the time, but I also played a good amount of
Anyone got a pin?
Marth, which is technically different. I know people are like, no, that's the same character, but they're not. Yeah, she is. And a Captain Falcon as well. So it was really Lucina and Captain Falcon mostly, sometimes Marth. And for fun with my friends, I would just play like Donkey Kong. Because like I know how he works. I'm good with meteor smashes. So I would play a heavy, get off the stage and I'm gonna kill you game. But there's risk involved, right? He's slow, he's big, he can be juggled because he's actually not as heavy, like he's a floaty character a little bit. Not too much, but he can be juggled too. So like no one seemed to care. They always hated me playing Donkey Kong in particular, just because I would use a smash attack and kill them, and it's like, you need to avoid, right? Like, I never get hit by anybody else's smashes because I avoid them.
I'm trapped.
I haven't. So the reason why is because,
That hole's our way home. Let's go.
they didn't look bad, I'm not gonna say that, but they didn't look like my cup of tea comparative to Smash.
Technodrome, the final shell shock.
If I was gonna play one of those games, I was going to play... I know. Down air, forward air, and technically his side B off stage, right? Although, technically speaking, they're meteor smashes. And I'm sure Draconius, because I believe I met you through Smash, you know the difference, obviously. Unless we're talking about other games when he did that, there was more true spikes. But he's brutal. He's brutal off stage. And so that's what I did. I just edge guarded people. And his back air is so good for keeping people off stage. You literally just go out there and give him the stinky foot. He just throws his foot back there and just... It's such a crazy hitbox that just being near it in general just fucks people up. Yeah, I'm not gonna play Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl or Multiverses. Nickelodeon in particular, I hated what the animations looked like. In a character cast, I'm like, eh. Multiverses looks better, but it still didn't look like it was for me. It's the same thing with like the Wall of Death of Jigglypuff. I played Jigglypuff back in Melee. I started to a little bit more and started getting really good at just giving the Wall of Pain, as they call it. Just literally back air, back air, back air, or front air, front air, front air, all the way until they're literally off the side, and then just going back slowly with pound, and then just getting back to the stage with an air dodge. So you can literally commit on the entire way. But yeah, I would just play Smash again if I was going to play one of those types of games, to be honest with you. But yeah, my friends make a lot of competitive games difficult because they don't want to learn the advanced mechanics. So back in like Melee into Project M, which is the mod of Brawl to make it more like Melee with the weights, the weight of characters, less jumping, you know, like it was basically Project M but in Brawl and with some modifications. Back in those days, the Melee into Project M days, I learned everything. I wasn't great at everything, but I knew it. So, like, you know, if you know any of the advanced stuff you used to be able to do, you used to be able to moonwalk. I couldn't moonwalk, but I knew what it was. What I could do is I could, obviously, I L-canceled all my aerials.
Our 4 reptilian heroes.
Sorry, I'll stop for a second.
The arc villain Shredder.
Thanks, April.
Big Apple, 3 a.m.
I don't even know if it matters if you save, but... Yes, yes. I agree with both of you. I could never do the Super Wave Dash with Samus, but I knew how it worked. I had a friend in college, his name was Sar. It doesn't matter what his name was, but his name was Sar. He was a Samus main in Melee. And he used to do the Super Wave Dash. And he used to use it to get space and then projectile spam, because that's what you do with Samus. So, you know, I knew how to L-cancel all my aerials. I specifically, you know, would shuffle, right? Which is just it's an acronym for anybody who's not familiar with Melee. You short hop, then you throw an aerial, usually like a front air. So it's short hop, front air, into L-cancel. Shuffle, yeah. A fast fall into L cancel. That's the second F. It's short hop, fast fall, L cancel, and you're throwing an aerial in there. So like a perfect example is Captain Falcon. People do what's called shuffling. They'll jump very, very slightly off the ground, do a forward air, which is his knee, which has the sweet spot, which can kill people like at crazy percentages in Melee. Followed by them immediately L canceling quickly into a wave dash into the ground, like a small L cancel into wave dash, which would be followed by them jumping again and repeating the process. And so literally he would just jump very slightly, knee, if it didn't connect, he would wave dash down, and then immediately jump again and knee again. And if someone doesn't know how to do that stuff, they're much slower, because if they're not wave dashing, they're going to have a hard time avoiding the knee. And I wasn't perfect at it. I fucked up sometimes, right? But like I was trying to get better at like my wave dashing and, you know, just shuffling as Captain Falcon, because I played him a lot. And my friends had no desire to know or no desire to learn. And that's totally fine. I really don't care. But that was their problem, is that they didn't want to learn those, and then they'd be, you know, some of them would be angry that they lost. Same thing with chain throws, right? So some characters can catch you in midair with a throw. They throw you again, which bounces you up. They try to tech chase you, so depending which way you try to, you know, use your momentum, they'll try to chase you and grab you again and repeat the process. And so I learned with Sheik, I did a lot of chain throwing. I wasn't perfect at that either, but like I knew how to do it. And so sometimes when someone wasn't doing very well, I'd get like 6 throws in a row or 7 throws in a row, and the damage just starts to be like tremendous. And it's like, well, yeah, that's why you're losing, right? Like, and exactly the same thing with you with Mario Kart. Like, there's a bunch of stuff you got to do. It's like playing back in Mario Kart 64. There were skips in Rainbow Road. You could jump off, and if you did it right, you would skip like literally half the level every lap. And that's legit. Should it be in the game? Probably not, but it is. Like, it is what it is, right? That's like if somebody doesn't learn the shortcuts and levels that have legitimate shortcuts that are intended to be taken. If they don't learn them, it's like, I mean, dude, like, it's not my problem that you didn't learn it, right? Solid. I am gonna start though, my friends, so just note that. That was awful. When did this come out? It plays like Ninja Turtles in time, so that's cool. It's faster, it's fast paced, you know, which I like. Although I can't do the same run, it looks like. There's no running. What's been up with you, by the way, Draconius? Have you still been broadcasting? I'm not gonna pretend that I'm watching regularly, so I wouldn't know, so I'm just curious. Not gonna lie to you, I respect you too much to lie to you. Doesn't look like I can throw people the same. At least I haven't seen it yet. I haven't died yet. Game seems a lot easier. My range is crazy. It definitely feels more. I hit closer to my body too. Easier. Punch me? Punch me twice? That's not cool. I'll just grab it because I know the sequence could end in any second. Meaning I can, yep, exactly. Exactly. No, that's fine. Hey, don't feel like you have to respond right away. Like, you do you, right? Have you still been grinding Smash in particular? And if so, are you in the global elite on any of your characters? And if the answer is yes, how many characters? I'm garbage back when I tried to play online. So I was getting close on Lucina to getting into the higher like bracket. Yeah, well that makes sense. I was getting close to elite with Lucina, but I was just having trouble and I was getting frustrated. I knew I was being like toxic in my own like head. I just wasn't like it wasn't healthy for me at the time. I just knew that. So I was just like screw that. I was like I'm not gonna play if it's making me feel like angry. So I was gonna take a break and I just didn't go back. I did make sure to sign in though and play every new character as they came out regardless. So the season 2 characters all the way up to Sora, I still did. Because I wanted to make sure that I did all their specific, the Smash board or whatever. I forget what it's called now. Thank you, Car. I want to make sure I did the, you know, little board for them so I could get all their special spirits. Spirit board. A special spirit board for them. That's the word for it. I did not mean to activate that so early. I had a free life. It does feel kind of repetitive, but at least it's easier. Do people still think that Little Mac is garbage? I know for a while everybody thought he was the worst character, then they thought he was like decent, and then they thought he was the worst character again. He honestly probably is one of the worst characters, but he has potential. The thing is that especially in lower brackets, he's incredibly hard to handle, in my opinion. Welcome back. Because if you aren't good, you're gonna have problems with, you know, staying alive long enough to counter him. You know what I mean? You have to, like, get in there and be ready for him to throw really, really quick attacks on the ground that are, like, relentless. No. Little Mac and Super Smash Brothers. Hey, Draconius, we were talking earlier, by the way, about the Switch settings. I'm just curious, because some people don't know about it. Are you familiar with the MTU settings on your Switch? And have you edited them to be a better online experience? Earlier, I was informing CVS Kid, because he wasn't familiar. He or she, I guess I didn't ask gender. Oh, by the way, CVS Kid, I have not died as of yet. I will die here, I'm sure, because it's a boss, but this would be my first life lost. Yep. I'm pretty proud of myself. Do you experience lag when you play? Wow, he died. So, there's a fix for the internet. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to type it real quick. You wouldn't see it because you weren't thinking at the time. There's something that's called the MTU setting. It's going to default to 1400 because that's what the Switch wants. It's wrong. You should set it to 1500. And you can look it up before you change anything. You don't have to trust me. I am not a technician of consoles. However, there's all kinds of articles online showing that average consoles when the Switch came out, which would be the PS4 and the Xbox One, they have their MTU set at 1500. It has to do with the internet connectivity and how much, I think it's the bandwidth, whatever. It's related. They're all set to 1500 like they should be. For some reason, the Switch just defaults to 14, which is less. if you change your MTU to 1500, it'll increase your online connectivity in those sorts of matches and reduce lag. It's not gonna fix lag, meaning like lag is still. Yeah, I have my Switch is on Wi-Fi usually. I think I had a LAN cable in there before. It's close enough now. It didn't used to be close to the LAN. And let me tell you that, by the way, me changing the MTU setting on my Switch, I'm on Wi-Fi. I still don't get lag usually. Like changing the MTU basically makes it fine, even with Wi-Fi. I'm not telling you that it's going to solve your problems, because if you play somebody else who hasn't fixed their MTU, they might still have lag coming from their end, and you'll still see a little bit of it. And there's always lag in any game, regardless of settings, right? It's going to exist. But you changing it on your setting is going to help you and the other player, actually, by reducing the lag total, in theory. Feel free to research as much as you want. You don't have to listen to me. You also can just leave it if you're comfortable. But I changed it a long time ago, and I had my friend Rocket, who you might have seen before, Draconius, I had him change it as well. And our games went from unbelievably laggy to basically no lag for almost the entire match, every match. Like, consistently fixed the lag. I wish that games in general would just connect better. That's what I wish. I wish that there was, like, more... I'm not, like, a network person, but I wish something would be done where they would allocate more resources to make sure that connections were better. That both has to do with your own internet service provider, right? Let's not pretend. So I wish the internet service providers were forced to give you better internet connections as it is. Because I pay for their highest package for my internet service provider, and I get decent connectivity, don't get me wrong, but like it could definitely still be better at times. So I think that they should, have better packages that should be like forced, basically. And they should fix other problems on the server end of games, companies. They should have to have more server space and stuff, and use that when they're obviously server run games, and modify how they do it, netcode in general. Because even games that have different kinds of netcodes still have a problem. Like, regardless of what type of netcode or how they're doing their data processing, there's problems in all online games. I've never played an online game that doesn't have a problem ever, right? Not me personally. There's always something at some point. So there needs to be like a revamping of the system as a whole, and there needs to be like random changes. Because when you're doing peers on one server that's distant from the peers, if any individual doesn't connect well, even though it's not peer-to-peer servers, their lack of connection in like a shooter, for example, is still enough to fuck with the results, because they don't see what you see. And if they're on your team, thanks for that. If they're on your team, that screws you, because they're gonna suck. If they're on the other team, it screws, it helps you, but unfairly so, right? So like in a shooter, you could win just because somebody has really bad, bad connection. And I know that we can't make people have better connection. I can't like tell you, hey, we're playing a game together, you should pay for the highest internet package that you can, right? But we just need to do a better job of not having ISPs have crappy packages available. Like, we should have like some sort of, yeah, that too. Like the problem is that, think about this, right? So I have like a gigabit of internet, what do they call it, whatever. It's a gigabit package, which isn't even perfect, but it's the best I can get in my area. But it's pretty good. That's decent, right? I'm not even saying that you can't have a lower available package than a gigabit. But like, the amount of packages that are below mine, there's too many. How many people... Like, we shouldn't let internet service providers do that. We shouldn't let them even offer, like, all these crazy packages. Because all you're going to do is get kids who are still living with their parents, who are forced into a crappy internet package, but still want to play games, and they're literally untenable. Like, an untenable internet connectivity. Because if somebody had less than me, that's not a big deal. They just can't have, like, a crazy low amount, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just, it's a whole problem, and it needs to be better regulated. That's how I feel. But of course you can't, because they're making money off of it. But that's the problem too, is you don't have a choice. Because like right now as it stands, if let's just say that Verizon are the people who put the internet cables in your neighborhood. If somebody else wants to come in and do internet services, they have to pay Verizon. They have to pay Verizon to use their cables. Because it wouldn't be worthwhile to dig new cables because they wouldn't have enough business in the neighborhood for one customer or two customers. It wouldn't be worth it. So they basically have to pay to use them, which means other providers are not incentivized to do such because they're just going to have to charge you more anyway. So are they really going to get your business if they come in and they have to charge you more than the person you're already using? Typically not. Once in a while, maybe, because they might have different packages available. Obviously, because things are, you know, more complex than that, but as far as internet stuff, like, it's not fair. It's a monopoly, and it needs to be broken up in general. The idea that you can, like, control the means of access to the internet because of those reasons. That the infrastructure already exists, and you kind of prevent somebody else from coming in and being a competitor. And then we should regulate it by government. And I know that some people are going to say, like, no, you know, free market's better at doing stuff, and that's fair. I understand that, like, sometimes it is better just to, like, let people solve it themselves. But the problem is that if we have people who have really shitty internet trying to play internet games, it's going to screw us. So, even if you didn't want government to regulate the internet service providers, fine. You need to regulate the games. Like, before you try online games, you need to, like, if they're, you know, competitive multiplayer games, there should be an internet test. And if you can't pass the internet test, you can't play the game online. Like, can you imagine a world where, like, you literally would boot up, you know, Call of Duty. I don't play Call of Duty, but Call of Duty. You were going to play multiplayer, and the game would test your internet on the spot, and it would say, like, oh, your internet doesn't meet our standards, you can't play online. Like, I know some people would complain, they'd be like, that's not fair, I paid for the game. But games should just be advertised as such. Like, oh, online play is limited based on your internet connection. If your internet connection does not suffice, then, you know, you won't be allowed to play. And people will be mad, because then games will sell a little worse, because people won't buy them if they have poor internet. But we don't want those people buying the games anyway. Then the rest of us would play the games more, because we'd have better internet connection, and people would have less problems. I think, anyway. That's just an idea. I know I did a lot of talking there, but I'm an idea kind of person. I just think about ways we could possibly solve problems. It's a hard problem to solve, for sure. Otherwise, it would already have been solved. Hey, Rocksteady. So you get a stable connection, right? So you're gonna change it. The truth of the matter is, I actually have a stable connection, and it still helped me. Maybe, okay, I have an idea. Maybe lower is... You're reading it, so you'd know better, but maybe what the problem is that if you had high MTU settings on a shitty network, it would disconnect you rather than lag. Yeah, and honestly, Draconius, the truth of the matter is, you can just undo it. Like, it's not a permanent thing, right? Like, you can just set it to 1500, and if you don't like the results, you set it back. I'll tell you, and I mean this is no exaggeration, it changed my life. I mean, yeah, I guess in theory. But I don't... I presume that shouldn't be a problem for most people. Definitely wasn't a problem for me. It definitely helped me. Plus, like I said, it might do nothing, meaning 0 impacts. It might help, which is what I suspect. Just a little bit more consistency. And there's a very rare chance it could hurt, but then you just switch it back anyway, so... Yeah, basically, so anybody who cares about their level of play should want to have... Probably already has a good network, i.e. changing the MTU would be good. So if you care enough to change a setting, you probably should change the setting. If you didn't care enough to change the setting, then maybe you shouldn't. Basically. I don't know what it is about this particular game versus the other ones. It definitely feels easier. Because of the hitboxes for my staff. But it also feels less interesting. I don't know why it feels less interesting. I can't put my finger on why this game feels less interesting. Maybe it's the musical track just doesn't feel as good as Turtles in Time. I see it. Sick. I haven't eaten any continues yet. I'm proud of myself. Either way, Turtles in Time, I think, is a relatively difficult game. Not crazy difficult, obviously, but, like, you know, somewhat. This game is easy as fuck. So far. I haven't needed to use a continue at all. And I don't know how far I am, obviously, and haven't made it to the end yet. But I definitely was losing a lot of lives every single level I entered in Turtles in Time. I didn't mean to take that so fast, but that's okay. No, my life. hate these guys. High foot soldier's gonna summon, dude. Do I actually have to follow that rule? Can I just go hit him? Alright, so standing mid-map makes him throw daggers. Which is what I want. Oh, free life. Look at that. How do you add tokens? Oh, good. I'm at boss man. I'm sad I had to use continue. He got a lot of health. You still got 3 bars, I see that. And these kunai do not do as much damage as I would hope. They do damage. But it takes like 4 to lower a bar-ish, so it's like another 8 from here, at least. And it's hard to actually get close to hit him, too. Because he does so much damage. I hate when the thing comes at me. It takes more, actually. I was wrong. It's probably going to be like 5 per bar, maybe? Got him. Woo, that was tough. Is he gonna blow up too? Yeah. Okie dokie. Leatherhead again? Why does it change colors anyway? It better not be every boss again. It is. I don't have lives for that. I'm getting through Rocksteady without taking, well, losing and having to restart. I don't know if it'll matter, but I'd earn a continue if I can beat 8 more enemies, it looks like. Oh, come on. I don't want to do this gauntlet level. Chances I get this guy on this try are like nothing. Well, I guess I have a continue, right? I'm about to get one. I guess I have a chance. Low, but I ran down into that knife. I got 1/6 of his health off. I don't think I can possibly beat this try, which is very sad for me because I don't want to fight him again. I would rather just be done with the fight. Damn. Damn. Definitely with him having 4 bars left, this is unlikely to be the win. Yeah. It's really inconsistent on whether or not you can hit it or not, I find. Yeah, of course. I really want to be done, honestly. Not because the game's not fun or something. I got stuff I gotta do. It's near the end of the night. I was planning to eat a little something. It's 11 o'clock for me. Just when I want to stop. That's alright. Basic coming into the level with more lives. I think I can pretty easily beat Leatherhead without taking any damage almost at all. And the last boss was the boss I died to. I just fought him before this, so I'm figuring that will be the end of the gauntlet, right? Unless they add a new boss at the end of the gauntlet, which seems very annoying. I did take a dagger to the face, but I'm alright. Stupid rhino. Alright. I turned to hit it, PS. He literally killed me because... I hate how inconsistent it is with the fucking knife. There I go. I'll try a different strat. I'm gonna stand close enough that I can send some stuff back. I also do want to kill some of the Foot Clan, maybe. So I gotta continue out of them. So yeah, I just farm Foot Clan for a little bit. Don't need to kill too many. They're pretty easy to kill too. Nine more, I mean. it's probably worth it just to have a wiggle room. The reason I want to just go closer to him and hit him while I also redirect some of his things. He's incredibly difficult. Come on. I can't be hit with every piece of shit knife. Alright, maybe I go back to... Nope, I die. Sick. I'm like so mad because not that I don't deserve to lose, right? Like, I don't want to sit here and pretend that I did amazing, but it's so frustrating. And I gotta kill these things if I want to continue to come faster, because they're worth three points a pop out of the 100 that I need. There's quite a few of them. I did pretty good there. And I think Rocksteady's definitely worth 5. I think Leatherhead is too. Sorry, more than I got last time. More damage than I got last time, too. Yeah, I assume Leatherhead is also worth 5, which would put me at 57, and a lot of the foot soldiers that I fight at the end with Tatsu or whoever it is help, obviously. Oh, come on. He caught me with a stupid... I never lose a continue before I get to Tatsu, but I do lose a lot of life. Because of course, naturally, they're not going to give you any healing in between. That was 5, by the way, for Leatherhead. 5 for Rocksteady. Alright, let's get over to Tatsu.